For more than 4,500 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza has stood as one of humanity's greatest mysteries. Millions have asked the same question: how did an ancient civilization, armed with little more than copper tools, ropes, wood, and incredible determination, build one of the greatest engineering marvels in history? For decades, theories have ranged from massive straight ramps to spiraling ramps, and even aliens. But what if the real answer has been hiding in plain sight all along? A growing body of scientific research is now pointing toward a far more remarkable explanation, one that gives full credit to the extraordinary engineering genius of the ancient Egyptians. The Great Pyramid was constructed around 2560 BC during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. Originally standing approximately 481 feet tall, it remained the tallest man-made structure on Earth for nearly 3,800 years. The monument contains an estimated 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks. Most weigh between 2.5 and 15 tons, while some of the granite blocks used in the king's chamber exceed 60 tons. Every one of those stones had to be quarried, transported, lifted, and placed with astonishing precision. To appreciate the scale of the accomplishment, imagine placing one massive stone approximately every 3 to 5 minutes, day after day, for nearly 3 decades. That pace would have been necessary to complete the pyramid during Khufu's reign. For generations, archaeologists agreed on one thing: ramps almost certainly played a role. The problem was determining what kind of ramps. A gigantic straight ramp, long enough to reach the top of the pyramid, would have required almost as much building material as the pyramid itself. The logistics simply never made sense. Spiral ramps wrapped around the outside of the pyramid solved some problems, but created others, including blocking workers' views of the corners and making it difficult to maintain the remarkable alignment for which the pyramid is famous. The mystery remained unsolved. Then came a breakthrough. Using advanced mathematical modeling, computer simulations, architectural analysis, and decades of accumulated archaeological evidence, researcher Vicente Luis Rosell Roig proposed what many experts believe is the strongest explanation yet. Instead of building one enormous external ramp, the Egyptians may have combined a modest external ramp for the lower levels with an ingenious system of integrated internal edge ramps that spiraled upward inside the pyramid itself. In this model, builders intentionally left small openings along the pyramid's edges. These openings functioned as turning platforms where workers could rotate massive stone blocks before continuing their climb through internal ascending pathways. Once construction reached higher levels, these openings were filled with stone, effectively hiding the evidence within the finished monument. The theory solves several long-standing engineering problems simultaneously. It explains how workers could continue raising stones without constructing impossibly large external ramps. It explains how surveyors maintained precise alignment because the pyramid's outer corners remained visible throughout construction. It explains why so little physical evidence of enormous ramps has ever been found. Most importantly, computer models demonstrate that such a system could realistically support the construction speed required by historians. But this discovery did not emerge in isolation. Over the past several years, scientists have uncovered multiple pieces of evidence that fit together like an archaeological puzzle. In 2024, researchers identified the long-lost Ahrimat branch of the Nile, a 64-kilometer waterway that once flowed alongside more than 30 pyramid complexes. Today, those pyramids appear stranded in the desert. Thousands of years ago, however, they sat beside a major navigable river. Satellite imagery, sediment analysis, geophysical surveys, and fieldwork revealed that this ancient branch likely served as a transportation highway. Massive limestone blocks, granite from Aswan, food supplies, tools, and thousands of workers could have arrived directly at specially constructed harbor complexes connected to the pyramids by causeways. Suddenly, one of history's biggest logistical questions had a convincing answer. The Nile itself was one of the Egyptians' greatest construction tools. Even earlier discoveries strengthened this picture. In 2013, archaeologists uncovered the Diary of MORE, one of the oldest surviving papyri ever found. Written by an Egyptian official overseeing transportation crews, the diary documents workers moving high-quality limestone blocks by boat from quarries at Tura to Giza for Khufu's pyramid. Rather than mysterious technology, the diary describes organized labor, careful planning, shipping logistics, and state-level project management. It provides direct evidence that the Egyptians themselves documented parts of the construction process. Then came another technological revolution. Scientists employed cosmic ray muon scanning, a technique borrowed from particle physics, to peer inside the Great Pyramid without damaging it. The scans revealed previously unknown internal voids and chambers, demonstrating that the pyramid still contains hidden architectural features waiting to be understood. While these voids do not directly prove the internal ramp theory, they remind researchers that the monument still holds secrets and that non-invasive technology is transforming our understanding of ancient engineering. Taken individually, none of these discoveries completely solves the mystery, but together they tell an increasingly coherent story. The Egyptians likely transported stone by river using the Aramat branch. Construction materials arrived at harbors connected to pyramid causeways. Blocks were hauled upward using carefully engineered ramp systems that evolved as the pyramid grew taller. Surveyors maintained extraordinary precision using visible corners and advanced geometry. Thousands of skilled laborers, engineers, surveyors, craftsmen, and administrators coordinated one of the most ambitious construction projects in human history. This emerging picture replaces myths with something arguably even more impressive: human ingenuity. The evidence also dismantles one of the most persistent misconceptions about pyramid construction, that they were built primarily by enslaved people. Modern archaeology strongly supports the conclusion that the pyramids were constructed by large, organized workforces of paid laborers, skilled craftsmen, seasonal agricultural workers, and specialists who lived in purpose-built settlements near Giza. Their achievements represent not forced chaos, but extraordinary national organization. Even with these breakthroughs, researchers remain cautious. Science rarely declares an ancient mystery completely solved. The internal ramp hypothesis continues to be evaluated, tested, and debated. Additional archaeological discoveries may refine or even modify the current model. That is precisely how science advances. Each discovery adds another piece to a puzzle that has fascinated humanity for millennia. What is becoming increasingly clear, however, is that the builders of ancient Egypt required no supernatural assistance. They mastered mathematics, they understood logistics, they harnessed the Nile, they organized enormous workforces, and they engineered solutions sophisticated enough to challenge modern researchers more than 4,000 years later. Perhaps the greatest mystery was never whether the Egyptians could build the pyramids. Perhaps the real mystery was whether later generations underestimated what ancient people were truly capable of accomplishing. Today, thanks to archaeology, satellite imaging, particle physics, mathematical modeling, and decades of international research, that misconception is finally beginning to disappear. The Great Pyramid is no longer just a monument of stone. It is becoming one of the greatest case studies of human innovation ever created. And with every new discovery, the ancient Egyptians continue to prove that their greatest achievement was never simply building the pyramids. It was building them so brilliantly that the world is still uncovering their secrets over 4,500 years later.